Okay, there we go. Easy peasy. So easy. It's kind of crazy, actually, how easy it is. Okay, now we actually have to figure out what we're doing, who we're talking to, and what the plan is. Because I'm not quite sure who's going to be hanging out at 7:15 p.m. on a random Thursday. Who knows? What's up, Echo? How's it going, man? Joshua, hello. Very formal username. Joshua Stewart. I like it. It's a classic. What's up, Max? What's up, Juan? How are you guys? You enjoying this Thursday night? Honestly, the worst part about the conference finals is I feel like that's where the hockey really slows down, and it's not just constant games to the night. Give us Marchessault. Stuck at work, wish I could watch. That's all right, man. You'll catch the next one. Beats Captain Gray. What's up, Russian Doggo? Russian Doggo, that's a good one, too. What's up, Rob? How are you? People already jumping in. This is fun. This is nice. Everyone's got nothing to do on a Thursday night. Maybe you'll hear my dogs barking in the background. That'll be exciting. I found this tier list for the Bruins players this year, and I kind of thought it'd be fun to... I hate season grades. I do a video every year that's season grades. I don't think I'm going to do that this year. I think I'm going to do, like, a tier list. Because I feel like the grades are always kind of weird. Like the pluses and the minuses and all that kind of stuff. It does sound like Pat Maroon is a wanted entity by the Boston Bruins. The problem is he actually healthy? And the fact that Don Sweeney actually said during the media day, the press conference after the season ended tragically, actually mentioned, yes, Pat Maroon's an option, but it's going to depend on his health. I mean, clearly they didn't think he was that healthy during the playoff run, which is weird because he played every frickin' game. But we know Monty makes decisions that we don't always agree with. But then again, who was really an upgrade over him? We just didn't have a lot to work with, unfortunately. What's up, King Neptune? 420. Swayman needs his own tier. So wait, does Swayman just automatically get S and now no one else gets to get S? Because there's Jeremy Swayman. Put a Leafs uni on the wall. Do I not have a Leafs up there? No, Leafs got shut. In fact, I don't have a Panthers one up here either. Hold on. Oh yeah, there's no Panthers or Leafs on the wall right now. And I think I know why. Do you know who put this wall together? It was High Quality Fiance. She's the one that chose what went on the wall. And I don't really blame her. What's up, Scarlett Perkins? I hope you're doing well. I know you've had a crazy couple of months. Ryan, how's it going, man? Oh yeah, you were the one that said the Leafs on the wall. Of course you did. That makes a lot of sense. We need to get Big Rig a fourth cup. I don't know, for a second there I believed. I really did. Signed to Brusque, so underrated defensively and has spurts on offense. Perfect middle six winger. Brady, I'm right there with you. A lot of people do not agree. And look, if the price is $8 million, I don't think I agree either. Dampen, what's going on, man? Do you think they keep both goalies? There's going to be a long conversation about that. It sounds like they want to, though. It sounds like they want to. What's up, Zane? What's up, Michael? I appreciate you spreading the community. Sounds a little sexual, but we like that. That's fine. Yeah, I thought she did a good job. I don't think, like, obviously you only get a small snippet of this, but the mustard cat, obviously. Love that. She was the one who decided that DeBrusk and Marchand should stay on the wall, which I kind of liked. I kind of got. Well, thank you for the kind words, Brady. Chair McBeef, that's another great name. Is Lucic done? Yeah, I think he probably should be. I think he's made his money. He's had a hell of a career, and he needs to get his own stuff straightened out a little bit. And hopefully him and his family find a way to do that as best as they can. least all those Rangers fans are kind of quiet. Yeah, I mean, game one. Here's the thing about game one, though. Do I think the Panthers were the better team through it? More or less, yeah. Why can no one get inside ice on the Panthers? Because there's space there. It just feels like they close it up so fast. I don't even think it's because they're rough and tough or anything like that. I don't know. No one can get inside on them. But one of the goals was an own goal, and one of them was an empty netter. They lost 1-0, basically. I mean, there's plenty to build on there. Let's see. Really wouldn't mind Maroon back on the team as a 13th man option for the Bees. I don't mind it either. I actually thought he was okay. There was plenty that he couldn't do, but you wonder if that's a health thing. I'm not losing my mind over a vet minimum signing like I tend to do, actually. I'm actually about to insult some people who are on a minimum, but it's fine. William, what's up? How's it going, man? What's up, Nick Citrullo? How you doing? Got the little emblem. I love that shit. Re-signed Nebraska Maroon. Yeah, Lucci's just done. What about the draft? What about it? Do you want to see? Hold on. I'm going to show you something real quick. What about the draft? What are the Bruins going to do in the draft? Well, they're going to choose people in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round. Combined, your odds of having an NHL player out of that is like 3%. It ain't great. What's up, Scion? I don't know. That's a tricky name, but what is up, my brother or sister? We should clone Geeky 11 times and have the best offense in the league. I know you're just trying to get my goat, but it's working. Long-time listener, first-time live streamer, chatter. What's going on, Sean? Big fan of Maroon. Honestly, the battles, I get it. Like, you want to see more of that from Maroon, but he can't catch up right now. If he could catch people, but he was winning some board battles when he was able to get into them. If they could get, I like this. If they could get Ullmark or Swayman in a room and say they combined have to keep it under a certain number, maybe they could. But after arbitration, I think Swayman is easily getting like $7 million. Last I've heard is he's looking for a Hellebuck-style deal. So he's looking for a long-term, on the larger side of NHL goaltender contracts, which, man, you got to remember, the lead up to the playoffs was not pretty for Swayman. So there's a lot of conversation to be had there, but I know they're desperately trying to avoid arbitration. Oh, Lucic used to be your favorite player back in the day, which no one's going to blame you for. No one would blame you for. But recognizing that there's some unsavory behavior and stuff that you don't want to support is an important part of that. How many years till Marshy retires? I would say 3 or 4, unless he just can't go anymore. The guy doesn't seem to, he's just not a quitter. Riparian, low qual, but a class act. Oh, I appreciate that. I am sure that Ullmark and Swayman would love to stay together. What's up, Peter? What's up, Zelly Brain? Sean, I avoid calling into the short shift hotline because nothing good ever happens after I ask a question and jinx the Bruins. Blowing the Panthers series, Bergeron retirement, etc. That is brutal. Please don't call in, though, because if that was you, that's your fault. Where would the Bruins be if they hit on those 3 consecutive first-round picks? No one knows. And here's the thing. We wouldn't have been able to afford to keep all of them. So that was 9 years ago, you know? There's just no one knows at this point. David, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Our picks. Yeah, Max, it ain't pretty. You can find someone who's tenacious and fast other than Maroon? Absolutely. Maroon comes back as a 13th guy, not as like a mainstay in your lineup. Michael DePaulo, thank you for joining the High Quality Inspectors, the membership program. I believe you're a returning member, right? Yeah, Ryan, I agree. Maroon can't be out there for larger minutes. It's got to be a guy who just lays the hammer in moments. What's up, Sticks and Pucks? Sticks and Pucks has his own YouTube channel, everybody. A little bit of Chell action. And he's excellent about not coming in here and just being like, check out my channel. He's just a cool dude who loves doing it. So I got to shout him out because he's cool about it, you know? That's how it works. Only trade Ole if the right trade comes. Scarlett, I couldn't agree more. And Sweeney is known for setting a price and telling everyone to screw off if they don't meet it. So I'm not really worried about that so much. So you're saying there's a chance in the draft? There's not a chance. Thoughts on shipping Ullmark for a first and a second this year? Depends on who's first, but it's going to be really hard to get that kind of value for him. And I know that sounds crazy, but goaltender trades are weird, man. They're so weird. Team Kendrick all day. You kidding me right now? It's not even close. And I'm not even huge into that style, as you might have guessed, because I look like a hippie. But yeah, I'm big Team Kendrick over Team Drake. Lucas, thank you for the kind words. Oh boy, I'm trying to catch up. Oh, there's Zed. I don't know if you can hear him barking. Oh, he's getting spicy out there. Get Geeky out of the top 6. Yes, Geeky's gonna be an excellent Bruin as a middle 6 guy or a bottom 6 guy. How many goals is Laurie good for next season? 9, which doesn't sound impressive, but for a second year full season in the NHL, I'd take 9 with like 20 assists. Just a small amount of points. Let them grow steadily. Totally fine with that. That's awesome that you listen to the videos with your grandma as well. That's really cool. Can we get Bert back? Jasmine, I don't know. And I don't know if I want Bert back, honestly. I might be past the Bert stuff. Do the Bruins keep Patra? They better. I bought a jersey. They have to keep him. What do I think is DeBrus's number? I think he's asking for 7.5, and I think Sweeney doesn't want to go above 6. I think that's where the issue is. Because I also don't see a lot of comparables at 8, but you got to remember, the cap going up, they're going to say, hey, this is what it's going to cost for this player now. The prices just don't stay the same, you know? What's my drink of choice? Gin and tonic, actually. I don't drink as much anymore, so it's just a nice, like, convenient, refreshing drink. Problem is, I'll drink like 14 of them in a sitting and then try to stand up, and that doesn't go well. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the fashionable people are on tonight. These are a lot of, like, the mainstays. Can Potter crack second line C? Yes, I think he can. Genuinely, I think he can. It sounds like most of the time he was playing, he was injured. And they just decided to shut him down for the year. DeKingery, or D.A. Kingery, or however I'm supposed to say it. What's up, man? How are you? Talk about a mainstay of the channel. Trudy, Riley, please stop crying in the car. That's not cool. The car is a very enclosed space, and crying is very loud. Unless you're crying for a good reason, such as mourning the Bruins' loss, then you have my permission. Sorry, McGuire-ish. That's just a valid reason to be crying, you know? We tend to draft well in general. Yeah, I honestly like the way we look for intangibles later in the draft. We look for tools rather than the full toolkit, which I kind of like. You bet on an asset and go, hey, he has this one thing. Let's see if we can build off of it. Local fan-based meetup for when the Bees have their next cup parade? Yeah, next year. Absolutely. Absolutely. Am I a Celtics fan? Basketball is one of my worst, but I absolutely bandwagon it. As soon as the playoffs come around, I'm all in. What's up, JJez12? Thank you for the kind words. Kevin LeBlanc, I've said it for years. I want him. I want the guy on the team. Who to root for in this Eastern Conference? I think I'm rooting for the Rangers. I didn't think I was going to be, but while I was watching Game 1, I wanted the Rangers to win just naturally. So, you know. Omar, thank you for the nice stuff. Oh, but so many kind words going on. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Peake's future with the Bees? Well, he's going to be sticking around for a little while, I'm betting. I think he was a great addition. I still think they overpaid for him because you weren't bidding against anyone. But hey, whatever. You got a good bit of business done. And if that's a long-term third-pairing guy that you like, sure. He's a better forward right now, so I'll take that. Yeah, about Pacha for Draisaitl, along with a first and whatever nonsense, I'm pretty good with that. A Draisaitl addition makes this team competitive for a very, very long time. Do you think Potts got an injury off a specific play? I do. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember in his first, 2 weeks, he took a nasty hit. It was the first time someone like caught him, and I remember him being ginger with the left arm, one of his arms, probably the one that got hurt. And then he played through it for a couple of weeks, and they shut him down. I'd be fine with 6'5" for DeBrusque. I would be fine with that, really. I would. Dallas or Edmonton? Dallas all day. Fucking love that Dallas team. I love that Dallas team. Trade Olmark N+ for Nachos? Yeah, you know what's kind of funny about this? Because a lot of people are going to talk about Nachos. I've been talking to a lot of Canes fans. They're all flat out, dude, he is not what you think he is. He's not what the league thinks he is. Is he talented? Does he have great moments? Absolutely. He is not a high-level top 6 dude. That's what I keep being told that by Canes fans, and I'm kind of leaning towards believing them because, you know, they watch the guy constantly. Although fans can tend to be real critical of their own players sometimes. So, I don't know. I still am curious about it, and I'd probably look more into it. The Leafs fan, I only watch your videos when the Bruins lose. That's fine. I respect that. There's a huge fan base that only watches Dangle, and I only watch Dangle when the Leafs lose. There you go. Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with all the comments. There's so many of them. You guys are cool. There's so much attention for little old me. This is crazy. Boston Red Sox 49, $2. Thank you. Dogs, please. Your favorite Dallas Stars fan. Wait, hold on. Boston Red Sox 49 is a Dallas Stars fan? Or is that just like you jumping on the bandwagon right now? First of all, thank you for the $2. I really appreciate that. I can definitely get a dog in here at some point. I can definitely do that. I don't know if I can do that right this second, but I can definitely do that. I'm rooting for the Western Conference. As long as Dallas makes it through. The whole Canada not winning a cup thing is so fun for me. It's so fun. I think I'm an evil, evil American, but it's very fun for me. I hate the Rangers, but I hate the Panthers more. That's valid. That's so valid. Never root for a New York team. You got to go with the Panthers. It's a tough one, though. You got to admit it is a tough one. Think the Oilers got any shot in beating Dallas? If you have McDavid, you have a shot. I mean, I just don't. This is the best version of this team that McDavid's had in his career. Dallas is a wagon, though. And Wyatt Johnson, 2 slots after Liesel. Just brutal. But hey, that's drafting, right? God, would you love to see him in a spoke to be. Trade Pasta, how are we upgrading? You don't win that trade ever is the problem. You just don't. You know? Like, anytime you trade a top 15 player in the league, you're trading for unknown assets or picks or whatever. You just never win that trade. Yeah, Fabian Liesel, next year, he should at least see some games. Dallas 2017 draft is nuts. Is that the one with Ottinger and... Hold on, was it Ottinger, Robertson, and Heiskanen were all taken in the same draft? Do I have that right? I might not. I really don't see us getting a true 1C this offseason. You and me too, Dudes 42. That's, you and me. How did I phrase that? That's weird. But, yeah, I don't really see that happening. I just don't think it exists for us, you know? Okay. I'm the guy Andrew told you about on the show that lives in Georgia. Ah! That makes sense. That makes sense. Bruins 99. Thank you for the kind words. I like doing it. I like talking to you guys. The whole purpose of me doing this whole channel is to have people to talk to because I don't get to live in Boston year-round, or year-round. I don't live in Boston, and no one talks hockey down here because they're a bunch of losers. So what are you going to do? Algero or Jerk. I don't know. I think my screen's a little dirty. Yes, let's freaking go. Absolutely. Ryan can't stand Dangle. I got a ton of respect for Dangle. Even if he's not my style or my taste, I got a ton of respect for that dude. Dude's an encyclopedia of hockey knowledge. What is your favorite hockey player nickname? Oh, that's a tough one, actually. I mean, it sounds lame, but the great one is just so cool. Like, it's just the coolest thing. I like the Chief. What do we have for current nicknames? I'm trying to think of who we have that's actually... Because I feel like nicknames are kind of dying out, or at least the badass ones. but maybe I'm just not remembering them. The Mad Marcus, have fun, man. Celtics, I think the Celtics really do need to win the first two. If they shake at all, like obviously there was some shakiness in game one, I think they need to put their foot down in this one. I forgot Liesel existed. Yeah, that's kind of easy to do sometimes. Trading Pasta is a lost situation unless it's Kucherov, and I still wouldn't fully get on board with that. Yeah, I agree. Pasta's ours. There's no moving off of that, you know? Oh, one of the dogs is upset. I don't know if they get like a Lindholm, but they should be able to get someone else that's better than Zacha. Yeah, I think that's possible. I think that's feasible. I mean, Zacha just had a horrible playoffs. Chain Smoking Lefty, thank you so much. $5. That was awfully generous of you, man. Why is everyone obsessed with Elias Lindholm? One great year while paired with Matthew Tkachuk, then ass. Or ass feels a little hyperbolic. You know, he wasn't terrible, but no, he's a 2C. He's not a star center that people make him out to be, in my opinion. He is a 2C on a championship team. He is a 1C on a team that is middling, you know? So I'm not as on board with spending big assets or spending $10 million a year on the guy. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you do get him closer to like an 8-5 kind of number, he definitely improves the team next year. Pasternak has more points per game than the highest paid player in the NHL. Yeah, but didn't the highest paid player in the NHL have 69 goals last year? So feels like we're splitting hairs there. Right? That's got to be Matthews. That's the highest paid player right now, I think. Which NHL team do you hate the most? Is it my team? It's the Kings. It's the Los Angeles Kings. I couldn't even tell you why, really. That's not fully true. Like, the Habs is the team I hate the most. But no offense to the Leafs, but it's hard to have a rivalry when the other team never beats you. And I really don't mean that in an offensive way, because I'm pretty sure Leafs fans would also sit there and go, like, this isn't a rivalry. We just lose every time, you know? So I really don't have a lot of hate for the Leafs. In fact, there will become a day where I might actually cheer on the Leafs. I can't think of the exact scenario, but it might happen, you know? Big Rig is a great nickname. Give me some more. Other people. Little Ball of Hate is a good one. It's an okay one. I don't know if I love Little Ball of Hate. I just immediately said good one just because of Marchand, but I was like, I don't know. Would I trade McAvoy? No. A true top pairing right defenseman who's a top 15 defenseman in the league. Replacing that is so unbelievably difficult. We actually, you know what? We'll have this conversation. We talked about this last video a little bit. A 1C, an elite goaltender, a top pairing number one defenseman. Like top 15 guy, which McAvoy is. His power play sucks. I get it. But 5-on-5, he is one of the best in the league. All that being said, those three positions are incredibly hard to fill. They don't go away from the team that drafted them typically. They're extremely hard to trade for and usually aren't available to trade for. They're never available in free agency. Draisaitl's not going to be available in free agency next year. It's just not going to happen. Just won't. So I just have a really hard time moving off of Pasternak, even though he doesn't technically fit any of those categories, but a top 15 player in the league. McAvoy, who's a top 15 defenseman in the league. Swayman, even Ullmark, you have a hard time shipping off just because he's been so good for the team. And it plays a role where you don't know if you're getting good, you know? So there's just certain people you just don't move. You just don't move. Unless you are absolutely blown away or you're in a situation like Calgary was where their guys were like, we're done. This place sucks and I want out, you know? Ranton is known as the Moose. The Moose is pretty good. Doug Gilmour, killer. Pasta, okay, that's sure. Does Grizz suck? No. Or he didn't. He used to not. Grizz had a bad year at the worst possible time. He will get signed by someone. It will not be the Boston Bruins. Oh, man, I'm falling way behind. Oh, the Rocket? Of course, the Rocket's a great one. What are your top 5 teams? So, Bruins, Avalanche, and Sharks kind of go back and forth. And then the bottom 2 are basically whichever one, like, I feel worse for, and I'm just gonna root for. Like, for a while there, it was the Canes, and then the Canes got good, and I was like, I don't know. Arizona holds a special place in my heart, even though they're dead now. Yeah. So I have like a top 3, and then after that is just whatever mood I'm in, I guess. The Grim Reaper was a good one. That's true. That's a good one too. God, Poppy goes hard. That is true, in a lot of ways. Do you think the Leafs is one of the teams on Olmark's no move? I kind of want to think it is, just because he's a Bruin, you know? I just want to believe that. Satan, absolutely. Dude, the Savannah Ghost Pirates? That is one of the best logos, the best team names in the league. I love that shit. Love Olmark because of his personal story. What exactly do you mean by that? Pat Verbeek is the original Little Ball of Hate. Is that right? Man, maybe I just got brainwashed by the Bruins. I'm just like, nah, it's Marchand forever. The Ferentz wheel. Andrew Ferentz just, I mean, is always going to be that guy to me. Just because he flipped off the Montreal crowd. It's just the coolest thing that anyone's done in the past 20 years across the world. I'm not even going to take that back. Isn't Swayman's nickname the Bulldog? Yeah, the Bulldog's good. I don't know. I feel like there could be something better. Big Buff? Ugh. Bufflin's on the wall, too. You can't really see. Wabba! Yeah. We love Big Buff in this house. We're Big Buff stands. He retired way too early. Way too early. What's up, Kirby? Krejci's was called Matrix, right? He was no, he was Mr. Master of Time and Space. I don't remember the Matrix one. Zaka did do a thing today. Pavel Zaka, the King of Ping, which is also an excellent nickname if it didn't go along with a negative connotation about his play. But the King of Ping scored the only goal in the Czech versus USA game today, and that pushed USA down, right? I haven't kept up with the tournament, but they're done, I think, unless I'm mistaken there. Breadman for Panarin is good. Yeah, I do like that. Talked about his relationship with his father, being an alcoholic, then forgiving him after an abusive childhood and overcoming so many obstacles to be a top NHL goalie. That is great. There's a thing about a father-son thing that just gets me. You know? How did I think Coyle did in the playoffs? I think he did as good as he could have. I have no issue with what Charlie Coyle brought through these playoffs. The dude's playing above his head right now. And he's just doing everything he can for this team. Hope you're handling the end of the season well. Mostly. Lundqvist, the king. Yes. LeBron James be damned. I'm a big Henrique fan, too. That's the thing, is goaltenders, it does not matter what team you play for. If I'm in, I'm in. I love to root for goalies. What kind of deal do you think Heinen gets? I would love for him to get like a 3x3 or something like that. I don't know if that's with the Bruins, but I think he's earned that kind of contract. He probably earned more than that, but we'll see. Possible name for the Utah team? I got no problem with the Yetis, right? I mean, we can't just come out and be like the Joseph Smiths, you know? Because the Mormons would probably not love that. Probably not. But the Yetis seems fine, you know? The Blizzards, but that's too close to, like, the Avalanche, you know? You personally call Carlo American Sniper? Dude, what's so funny about Carlo is he goes Snipe City, right? Goes absolutely Bardowski on somebody. And in the next game, he's in the same position, and he goes high and wide by about 14 feet. And you're like, okay, That's what we should expect. The interview that Olmark did was called "No One to Hug: The Linus Olmark Story." I'll give it a listen. It's probably gonna get me right in the feels. Mammoth were cool too. The Utah Mammoth. I don't know. The latter-day skates. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The Utah Super Soakers is great and leaves a lot of room for me being a pervert. Are you slotting Patra in as 2C next year? No, so here's the thing. Do I think he has 2C possibility? Absolutely. He is coming off a shoulder surgery. 3C to start the year. There is a non-zero chance that he actually starts the year in the AHL because he's eligible for it. If they feel like they're risking his personal health, they might start him in the lower league if they don't love where his recovery is at with the shoulder. He should be good to go at that point, but there's a non-zero chance. Utah Sister Wives, don't think that one's going to get approved, but good try there. Worst and best Bruins player over the whole year. Yeah, let's get into these rankings a little bit. Let's do that. Oh, and also Jacob, shocked Forbort doesn't have his own tier of suck. Okay, well, we can probably actually just... Where's Derek Forbort? Where's that big stupid head? Where are you? I should have gone in order so I could actually find him. Now I'm gonna... Oh, there he is. He's a D. There we go. No one gets an F tier. F is rude. Jacob, thank you so much for the donation. I greatly appreciate that. Very generous of you. I don't have to stay up till 1 a.m. for puck drop. Dampen, you are not wrong. I have gotten actual sleep this week. Problem is, though, I live on this fun little edge. When I have free time, my brain really hates everything about everything. Just goes down this road that is unpleasant. But when I'm super busy and exhausted and sleep deprived, my brain kind of shuts up. So it's true what they say about idle hands and the Devil's Workshop and all that kind of stuff. It's also extremely unfair. So there's that. The Mormons would absolutely like it would be fun. The Mormons, you know, the Joseph Smiths went to watch Book of Mormon in London. What a show that is. Anybody who doesn't know what the Book of Mormon is and you are not sensitive to making fun of everything, I would recommend it greatly. Excellent, excellent musical. Really funny. Who wants Chandler Stevenson? Not for the amount of money he's probably going to get. Probably. I don't know. It's such a weird crop of free agents that there's going to be a huge contract doled out and then everything's going to start going nuts. Love Merck or Liesel making the jump. There are two of our biggest what-ifs for sure. Is he going to learn to dodge a hit? So many players took a run at Patra. Yeah. He's going to have to take some skating lessons with Marchand. Not because he's a bad skater, but he has to learn how to duck these hits. Because people see him and they go, I can knock him off the puck easy. And guess what? They're right. Patra lost the puck like crazy last year because he could not shove anybody off of him. Yeah. Oh, Lucci deserves F tier. Yeah, he does. Unfortunately, he is sitting here on this list. I don't know I can't really remove him, unfortunately. But I'll put him in the back there. I wish the best for his family. I really do. Hope that everything gets worked up there. I don't follow up with these things. I don't continue to watch these people's personal lives, so I don't know how everything resulted. I'm just backing away from it. It's not fun to deal with. Tyler, it's fine. Like a Lucic type player is what we need in the playoffs, but I am very, very glad that they weren't willing to bring him back after that kind of stuff. So like I understand what you're saying there, and it does suck that he went out like that because it sucks for a lot of people in his life, and it's yeah, just hope the best for his family. That's all it is. The Utah Prophets, like that's not offensive, right? The Utah Prophets is actually that's a pretty good name. Was that one of the options? I doubt it. Because I'm sure they're really kind of like tiptoeing around that. Datsuk the Magic Man, God, that's a good one too. We all see the UFA pool isn't very deep, so what do we want? That's a great question. That's a great question. Schmaltz. I want Nick Schmaltz. I like that one. Patra has a terrible stride. It's so inefficient. He's out of energy after 20 seconds and has to change. I don't know him. I don't know the game well enough to say that. I can tell you in tight, I love the way he skates and the way he moves his feet and his balance. But that being said, I'm not going to claim to know whether his distance stride is good enough. I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough to get there. Are we getting another prospect ranking? We will, sort of, with our 3 new prospects. 4th, 5th, and 6th rounders. Yikes. Damn it, I get you. It is a bummer. Duclair, he's a big one on the trade deadline that we were like, God, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? No, not nice enough, unfortunately. What's up, Slingshot? With a bunch of numbers. Oh, a bunch of numbers behind your name. Utah jump bumpers. Yeah, that'll stick. Out of energy after 20 seconds sounds like me when I play. Honestly, same. I don't know if anyone listens to like Bill Simmons, but he like a year ago was complaining about hockey players and how they couldn't stay on the ice longer than like 45 seconds to a minute. And it just reminds you that some people have never skated competitively. Like, it's one thing to skate around and everything, but it's a whole different when you are just blitzing at all times. Uh-oh, we're buffering. Oh. I don't like how it automatically opens on the other screen. Well, we seem to have decent enough. Internet connection. That's weird. I wonder why we're having serious issues. Well, hopefully it works itself out, because there's not a ton I can do about that right now. How about the Utah, at least we aren't Scientologists? Yeah, that's, it could use an acronym, probably. ALWAS. ALWAS. Yeah, I don't think that's the one. Duclair's nickname is Dookie. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna draw a line there. I don't think that's the one. I don't think so. Do you use HF boards, good hockey message boards? I really don't. I should look into that. Brett Pesce or Brady Shea? I'm not focused on the defense, honestly. Do you think Monty is the man for the job? More or less. More or less. I don't have enough reason to think that he shouldn't be the guy right now. What does one do with a Lucic jersey now? Same, by the way. He is currently in my cursed jersey lot. There's about 6 jerseys that I can't wear during the season or at all, let's be honest, because they are cursed, and he has joined that group, unfortunately. You could sell it, I guess. I'm not big on burning jerseys. You can always just strip them and replace the name, you know. My coworkers are all soccer fans. They keep saying soccer is harder because they stay on the field for 90 minutes. I played soccer. Like, I played soccer at a decently high level. And no. Hockey is 100% harder than soccer. Being elite at soccer and being elite at hockey, I'm sure talent-wise you need a similar level. But as far as just playing the sports, yeah, I will play 90 minutes of soccer. Absolutely. And I will be less winded after that than if I played 21 minutes of hockey. That's God honest truth. Not proof. Yeah, truth. Rank people, rank players. Yeah, let's do it. I'm chattering too much. How do we start this? I kind of want to start with the obvious ones, right? I do wish they removed them after I put them up, because I don't... Oh, wait. Maybe it did. Never mind. Swayman gets an S. We're doing a combined thing on the season. So Swayman has to get an S because he was amazing in the playoffs, and he was the only reason we even made it to the second round, let alone to game 6 in the second round. So absolute S tier. We're weighing this against expectations, right? So there's going to be some guys that are next to, you know, Pasternak or Swayman, and you're going to sit there and go, all right, that doesn't mean they're the same type of player or the same level of player, you know? Ever thought of doing a franchise mode series? Yes, I have thought about it. I should do it because the Xbox Cloud Gaming just unleashed NHL 24 on us, and it almost works. So if that gets cleaned up a little bit, I will do that. You support a soccer team? Yeah, Inter in Serie A. I haven't watched them in years though, but that's my soccer team. Okay, so obvious ones. Let's see here. We're gonna go Danton Heinen. Now, guys, are we feeling A tier or S tier for Danton Heinen? Because he's one of the two, and I will accept nothing less. I mean, God, he stuck around with the team. He stuck around with the team when he wasn't signed, waited for his chance, signed a minimum deal, and was excellent all year. All year is excellent. I don't know, man. Sway is S only because there isn't a Z tier. Yeah, I know. Like, Sway is the first S guy, right? Like, he has to. I can't do this. No. It's oh crap. There you go. There's Sway. I don't think I can change this because somebody else made it. But yeah, the S for sole reason for the second round. What does S stand for? Sexy performance. Nailed it. I got that. I mean, just to get him off the board, fine. Lucic is in D, but he's going to be the one that's, like, over here. He's going to be as far over. Heino is A tier. S. A tier. S, he was great. B at top for me. Maybe top of A. Wasn't he hurt? Yeah, he's going to be A. He's going to be A. He exceeded expectations, but he'll be A. Charlie McAvoy. He's not a D, but his playoff performance alone knocks him back down, knocks him down to almost that. Also, the picture makes him look fat, so there's that. I don't think that should come into play here. But Charlie McAvoy cannot get an A, and he cannot get a B, I don't think. I think Charlie McAvoy has to be a C tier at best, because as much as I would defend him and don't think he's a trade asset like a lot of people are talking about, I can't put him in a higher grouping. Can't do it. Yeah, he underperformed. Like, not enough for me to put him in a D tier, but he underperformed. He did have some stellar hits. Oh, that's true. That's so true. There's one thing Panthers do that I think is really gonna bite them eventually. That team is so durable. They chuck sueys like crazy. I don't know if you noticed through that series, but even in game 1 against the Rangers, they're throwing pucks to each other from behind through the legs. That's a green light, man. Their heads down, but the puck is under their feet. I'm going through them. Elbows tight, but that goes right through the collarbone. Only takes about 5 pounds of pressure to break a collarbone. Obviously, we're not out here trying to injure people. I'm just saying it only takes about 5 pounds of pressure to break a collarbone. That's all I'm saying. They chucked sueys like crazy, and the Bruins didn't have the speed to nail some of these guys and make them pay for it. Again, not rooting for any sort of injury, but let's rattle them a little bit, make them look over their shoulder. I don't know if we did enough of that, honestly. Riparian, you yelled blasphemy. Which one are you yelling blasphemy at? For McAvoy. Adrian Winter. I mean, grade not captaincy. That's fair. That's true. He was injured throughout a lot of this, too. Man. You know what? C is still right. C is still right. I think I would be doing myself a disservice by trying to, like, cherry pick and push him up a little bit. I think McAvoy didn't have the season he wanted to. I think he would agree that he was not good enough this year, particularly the playoffs, even with the injury. I think I'm fine with the C. Do we have any D that are A or S? Yes, actually. Because Mason Lohrei... No, he gets a B. I really thought about it for a second. Mason... McAvoy feels like a B. I'm going to go against the grain. A lot of people are saying McAvoy for B. I'm sorry. I'm leaving him at C. I can't do it. He's the highest of C's. Absolutely. He is Cheech and Chong high in the C category. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. C players don't have the most ice time on the team. Fair, but I'm grading based on expectations. I expect better from McAvoy. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe I'm being too critical. For the rookie, I'd give Lohrei the A. I'm tempted. During the regular season, he struggled a ton. Way more than people wanted to point out. I thought that was really weird. Because defensively, he was the sole reason for many goals against when he was playing. Playoffs, there were still some moments, but he was really, really good. And for what we expected from him, I'm really comfortable with a B, borderline A. But I think I'm probably giving him too much credit if I toss him an A. I forgot. Lohrei waved off Pasternak to go Bardowski on Bobrovsky. That was just so nutty. That was so dumb. Pasta had a tap-in, too. A literal tap-in. Bob's stick was up. He was so focused on Lohrei. A guaranteed goal for Pasternak. And Lohrei went for the, hey, I see an inch and a half of space. That's all I need. Whoop-bam! You gotta appreciate that. You gotta appreciate that. Man, people are really on this Mac being a B tier. He sucked at the beginning of the season. He did. Lohrei, he had some real rough portions early on. Am I watching Oilers Stars tonight? Yeah, I'm probably going to. We're probably going to stream for about another hour. We're not going to do like a bunch of late nights and stuff typically, because usually I work on Fridays, but I'll probably miss some of the first period, but I'll jump in after that. Trevor, I agree. He did learn relatively quick. Lohrei did. I would say 20% of goals against went off Lindholm's body this year. I would say another 30% went off McAvoy's stick. That's so unfair to say. Lohrei, Beecher, and Lauko got a playoff goal before Zaka. That's so brutal. I'm going Stars over Oilers. That's what I'd prefer. I prefer Zaka at 2 left wing. Yeah, I think that's the plan, too. If they like Patra at 3C and they can find another center in free agency, they will put Coyle in that other center in the top 6, and Zaka will likely move to the wing, where I think he's better. Because I think he's a top 6 winger. I don't think he's a top 6 center. The Utah Rockers, for Rocky Mountains. No offense, Echo, but I hate it. I really hate it. I hate that one. But I appreciate you. Lindholm gets a D. I think it's unfair to grade Lindholm against the first season he had with us. I'm pretty comfortable with him in a C category because expectations were high for him. He was also... This is where it's not fair, right? Because Lindholm, if you look into like the advanced stats and everything, had one of, if not the hardest years for a defenseman in the league. His matchups were always top tier. He played heavy minutes against top lines every single night. Like, they wanted to free McAvoy up for other things. And although McAvoy played against top competition, Lindholm did and started in the defensive zone consistently. So maybe it's a little unfair to put him in C just because we asked him to do a lot. And his offense suffered for it, and then we crushed him for it when, honestly, it wasn't really his fault that much. Lindholm and Mac can't have the same grade. Jasmine, my question for you, because I think that's a fair statement, is did they have the same expectations? Because they could have the same grade if they had different expectations. Should have picked Orlov over him. I don't know if that was possible. Because we didn't... Unless, like, we originally traded for Orlov with the same package, I guess? And then extended him? I don't know. Lindholm was also just incredible in our record-breaking year. So, he was unlucky, too. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Coyle has great puck possession, but needs to shoot more. Yeah, I mean, that's... I think that's as done a deal as possible. Coyle is who he is. I love him, though. Lindholm also took so many penalties this season. He did. Some bad ones, too. Yeah, I think, Dude's 42, I think they're going to try to free Lindholm up a little more. I think they are. Scarlett, I'm personally so sad that Mark McLaughlin... Whoa! Sorry, everything just flashed. Just can't crack the main roster. I had so much hope for him to grow into a third liner, but he seems AHL bound for the rest of his career at this rate. McLaughlin should get a chance next season. I love these two comments back to back here. Yes, McLaughlin's going to have a chance out of camp because the team likes him. The Boston Bruins like him. It's just, it's hard to find. He's got to really separate himself, and he's running out of time there. So I kind of feel you on that one. Outwardly crass. Outwardly crass. That's excellent. Thank you so much, man. What a generous donation. That's crazy generous. I so appreciate you. Just curious if you ever thought to live stream the rest of the playoffs. Your sense of humor and quickly would be funny to listen to during a game. I do want to jump on, and I can't like display the games or anything like that. I'll put myself at a massive delay. But I do want to jump up for a live stream for some of the Cup Finals games and just chat about it. That'd be really fun. Maybe try to do some play-by-play and show you how bad I am. I'll have to put on my glasses for that. Utah Salt Lake Monsters. I do like the Lake Monsters. That's pretty fun. Jasmine, not exactly the same expectation, but Mac vastly outperformed him. God, you are right about that. Maybe I am being too hard on Mac. Am I gonna flip-flop here and just put McAvoy up in B? I think I am. I think you guys have convinced me. Too many of you have been like, no, we're being too critical. The worst play of all the postseason was Beecher's pass to Okposo, which is accurate, and Okposo didn't even score. And he's usually a Bruins killer, too. At least he was when he was on the Islanders. Let's also send the team to counting school. That reminds me. All right. Hold on. Oh, wait. Actually, I think it was Peak that was the guy who consistently was involved in those too many men. But I really, for what my expectations for Peak were very low. Were very, very low. I think we have a lot of B defensemen this year. I thought he was solid. I didn't think he was crazy good, but he was above my expectations. I'm pretty comfortable with him being a B. Matt gets an F. All right, that feels a little rude. Little rude. Utah Latter-day Skates, just a good one. The Utah Stormin' Mormons. I do like that. That sounds very American Gladiator-esque. Or like the Hidden Temple. God, was that what it was called? Hidden Temple? I think that's right. All right, Toby and Tony over there are going to have their own little McAvoy hating sesh. I respect it, but I won't agree with it. Yeah, Peak solid B. What do you think of JVR? That's a tough one. He was so good to start the season. Then he got sick, and we used that as an excuse for 3 months, which, to be fair, seemed like it really did affect him for that amount of time. That's a tough one. I'm going to put... He technically exceeded expectations. I thought he was awful in the playoffs, though. I thought he was so bad in the playoffs. Laura played great in the playoffs. That kid is a keeper. Absolutely, he's a keeper. Yeah, I'll put him as C just because he had such highs and lows. Because early in the season, he had really big highs. Like, that dude, he looked like he was the best $1 million contract in the league. But then there were moments where you went, you didn't do anything the whole game. In fact, you wouldn't even hear his name for a week straight. I don't know. I'm leaving him in C. I just can't make a good decision on him. The only thing Mac is good at is QB and a PP. Tony! And there's Toby coming in with the lull. You guys need to get a room. Scored one great goal in the playoffs, but sucked the rest of them. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of Lindholm's situation, too, honestly. I mean, he had that one great Game 7 against the Leafs, and then woof. Zoom the page in a little bit. Let's do that. Does that help? We'll see if that helps. I might be blocking a little more of it now, but... Rate our special teams as a whole as well. That's a great idea. The PK is an S tier, and the PP is a Z tier? I don't know. It doesn't go that low. The PP was flaccid and bullshit. Awful. Awful power play. And I was so sick of, because we started the season so hot in the power play. #1 in the league through the first 2 months, I believe. Something like that. And then it was bad for like 4 months straight. And people kept saying, it's 7th in the league, dude. It's a top 10 power play. I'm like, no, it hasn't been for months. It's just slowly working its way down. See, even the dogs are upset about it. And they're upset. Wow, they're very upset about it. So much better. Excellent. We love that. Hard to judge the G group when the forward group was no help at sustaining pressure. That's very true. When we're going to judge defensemen on offensive output, what about the forwards? Let's start with Patrick Brown, who's a D. He's behind Derek Forbort. Patrick Brown was awful. I hate the fact that he's on this team. I do not like him. I'm not happy about it. Top 10, 7% power play in the league. Hell yeah, Dampin. We are the best worst power play freaking ever. It's called eliteness. Salt Lake Glaciers. I don't think they're going to like that one. Oh, yeah, Carlo. Absolutely A tier. He's almost an S tier for me. Like, I loved Carlo's game. And there's some people in this chat who I guarantee are going to immediately torch the guy. But he's not an offensive defenseman. He's a defensive defenseman who excels at his job. It's excellent. Carlo is an easy A, almost an S. The dogs are not enjoying that either, I guess. Carlo is such a stud. People are agreeing with Carlo love. We have Carlo love in the chat. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. He gets a lot of flack, but that's because his mistakes are so egregious. When Carlo messes up, he's a defensive defenseman. It's in front of our own net, or it's something that leads directly to a goal. So it's always going to look bad when he makes a mistake. The problem is you go 3 weeks and you're just like, oh, man, I kind of forgot about Carlo. Yeah, because he's silently just shutting down players, just doing his job. Yes, Dampin, totally right there with you. When he makes a mistake, it's huge. But he's so consistent. He's so consistent. And it's not a mystery why the past few years, when Carlo went down with injury in the playoffs, obviously not the past 2 years, but before that, all of a sudden, teams start pushing back on the Bruins. Scoring more goals, getting more inside ice. We saw that against the Canes. We saw it against the Islanders. When Carlo goes down, the whole defensive landscape changes. It's coil time. We'll do coil time. I'm such a fan, man. I'm such a fan. But no. He has to be A tier. How many points did he end the season with? He has to be A tier. Because you took a guy who we were pretty sure was not a top 6 center. He had 60 points in 82 games. Played a hell of a playoffs, even though he didn't have a lot of results to show for it. I can't put him below A tier. The guy played his ass off for us all year, and you know what? He proved a lot of people wrong. Yeah, that series against the Islanders was disgusting. It was awful, and it was shit hockey. It was not fun hockey at all. Coyle A tier is spicy. I think you've asked him to be a 3C for so long, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, buddy, you're the new Bergeron. Good luck. I thought he did great, especially with what the expectations were. First hat trick of his career. That's right, Adrian. That's right. I forgot about that. Can we rate Coyle's contract separately? If he does this again, he's a steal. If he has another 60-point season playing top 6 minutes, he's a steal at 5.2 or whatever it is. That being said, the entire life of the contract, probably not worth the money, but that's okay because we traded Ryan Donato for him. I'm all right with it. Wait, was that the trade that also had the 5th rounder that was Kaprizov? You know what? We're not going to find out. We're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. Oh, wait, we got some DeBrusque times in the chat. It actually might just be the same Preds Hockey Hunter saying it, but, oh no, more people are jumping on the train. Coyle and Margie on the PK was great. DeBrusque. All right, Jake DeBrusque. I'm a huge Jake DeBrusque stan. I love him. I appreciate him. I want him to stay a Bruin. He's not an S, Jeff, but I do appreciate that. I don't think he's an A, unfortunately. And although he was excellent in the playoffs, and he had a broken hand for 3 months this year, and he did, I think B is where he belongs. Because he did go through pockets of this season where he was legitimately not good. Good defensively, but offensively just couldn't get it going. God, the playoffs was so good, though. Ooh. How much are we weighing the playoffs? Because if we're really weighing the playoffs heavily, he should be an A. Because he was excellent in them. I don't want to see him in another jersey either, Adrian. I mean, there's a lot of sentimental value with DeBrusque too for me, honestly. And I obviously so I went to the Winter Classic last year, and the way that he scored 2 goals, the place went nuts on a broken leg. This dude, he deserves more respect from the fan base. He deserves more respect from them, just because he does everything he can for this team. He really does. I am putting him ahead of Peak and McAvoy, but not Lohrei. Playoffs deserve more weight. Ah, God, on a broken leg. That wasn't this year, though, so I can't call it. But he is super streaky. But honestly, most superstars, or most non-superstar top 6 wingers are super streaky. There's rumors that Ehlers is available for trade, and people are all excited about that. And I'm sitting there going, you get mad at DeBrusque for being streaky, you are gonna hate this guy. He really only did it against the Leafs. That's true. Most of his points were against the Leafs. I did like his defensive game against the Panthers. We're spending too much time on him. I'm gonna leave B. We've stopped at B. We're gonna leave it B. What's an easy one? Grizz, a D. I'm so sorry, Grizz, but like, dude, what a bad season at the worst possible time for him. What a bad year for him. He wasn't good defensively. He wasn't good offensively. His neutral zone play left a lot to be desired. He was not good. Not happy with Grizz this year, and I've been a huge Grizz defender for a very, very long time. And I can't list him any higher. I don't know if playoffs weigh more unless you win the cup. Damn, I get that. I do give teams credit for going farther in the playoffs. I like to enjoy the sport, and I found that if I go like, if we don't win a cup, everything sucks, I don't enjoy it as much. Now, of course, if the team is unbelievably good and is a favorite to win the cup and doesn't win the cup, it's a different scenario, but everyone, please look at Scarlett Perkins' comment from just a second ago about DeBrusque, because she nailed it. He has a Krejci approach to the game. Different types of players, but a Krejci approach to it. And he is a valuable forward for this team at the right price. Would have loved to see Richard get some ice time in the playoffs. Yeah. Grizz never healthy. That's true. He's always dealing with something. Always dealing with something. We should have traded Grizz at the deadline. Yeah, we should have. Hindsight is 2020 on that one. I thought we were going to. I understand keeping him around just for defensive depth, but yeah, probably should have moved on from him. Will Pacha break out? God, I hope so. God, I hope so. Michael DePaul. Low. Enjoy the Celtics game. Should be a good one. I'm going to start tuning into that a little later, too. Let's see. Who can we do real quick here? Who's an easy one? So Patra, I think we're just gonna toss in the B category. He got hurt, and he was hurt for most of the time he was playing, but him making it out of camp onto the team was incredible, and it was one of my favorite memories of the year. Steen, I'm sorry, that's a D. Could not break the lineup in a year where if he had it, he would have, you know? He really, oh my gosh, what a disappointment for him. And I have a Steen jersey, like an idiot. Freddie, Trent Frederick, that's a good one. Let's talk Trent Frederick. 7th Player of the Year award. Defensively, really solid. Kind of streaky in the offensive zone. But I wouldn't place him below B because I think he took another step forward. I have a hard time with A, though, with him. Puck off. I thought Patra should have at least 2 months of real ability to ramp up to the season. Am I wrong about that? Massimo, thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. Solid B, high B. Where's Psycho Freddy? Low B. He was absent in the playoffs. I think he was asked to do a different role in the playoffs. And then when he got brought up to the top 6, I thought he played pretty admirably. I would put him. I put him right here. Personally. Yeah, Frederick is a B. Didn't blow our socks off or anything, but Patra is going to be Bergie 2.0. I would lose my absolute mind if he turned into that. I really do think Frederick was tasked for most of the playoffs with shutting lines down. I thought that third line played an important role in a lot of games. There was some coaching involved there. That being said, I do think he wasn't good enough in the offensive zone, particularly on catching up with a forecheck, which is surprising from him because usually. Cup prediction, it's going to be wrong, but Rangers Stars with a Stars 6-game victory. Freddie had some key goals versus Leafs. That one in game 3? Game 3? The softie that Samsonov gave up? Whew! Whew! That was... I don't want to give Frederick that much credit, but he was the only guy on the ice who kept playing. The only one. Will a VOD of this stream be on the channel? Maybe. Probably. I can probably... Yeah, it should be. He'll be rehabbing and not training in a way he will gain strength and muscle. I get that, but I thought... honestly, I don't know what his timeline is for Patra. I don't know what the timeline specifically is for when the rehab kind of stops and just the normal workouts start. He is skating already, of course, but that's not a lot of shoulder in skating for the most part. Cheers from Kamloops, British Columbia. That's not a real place. Kamloops? Brock, that's not a real place, is it? And I love you too. Let's talk Maroon. Let's talk Maroon. He was fine. Can I do that? Is everyone going to be okay with that? Is everyone going to be okay with that? Maroon was fine? Bergeron had a slow start, give Patra time. Oh, I'm not rushing the kid at all. The dude is 20 this year. He's 19 this year. I'm not going to make a judgment on what he's going to be for the next 3 years, probably. I'm going to speculate like crazy. Clickbait and whatnot, but look it up, it absolutely is. All right, Kamloops is a real place. We're going to take his word for it. Kamloops, British Columbia. On ice wasn't great, but off the ice was important. I believe you, I just don't know that, I've heard enough of it to believe it, though. S tier. Definitely fine coming off back surgery. Yeah. Really good at chipping the puck forward. Definitely got into the offensive zone. I just think that he was too slow, and coming off the surgery, that's what I expected. So I have a hard time giving him a lot of props for play that, honestly, if he was just another player and there wasn't like the back surgery to talk about and him just ramping up and everything, you'd probably be a lot more critical, I think, of his play in general. Who's an easy one that we could just chuck up there? Olmark. Olmark also deserves an S, though, because Swayman slumped for a good portion of the spring, late winter into spring, and then went nuts in the playoffs. And Olmark was excellent excellent during that second half of the season. I'm putting Ullmark in the S tier behind Swayman. Oh, Ian Mitchell absolutely is an easy D tier. Where's Ian Mitchell? Yeah, easy D tier. Easy, easy. Put Maroon a spot higher. I enjoy him on the team. Show some heart and actually got a presence. Totally fair. I have a hard time moving him higher. I can move him in front of JVR if you want. I'm not going to lose sleep about that. Ullmark S. Yeah, Ullmark literally saved Swayman's bacon. Literally. I don't know if you can take it literally. But yeah, I think that's fair to say. Swayman after the All-Star break was not good. Ullmark was. After being told he's being traded and then him declining it. Like, there's a lot of mental gymnastics to do there. Marchand's our captain. He's going to be a high A. I'll put him in front of Carlo. Marchand deserves to be an A, in my opinion. Doesn't have the point totals, but again, he's getting up there in age. Lost a good portion of his top 6 teammates. So I'm pretty comfortable with A there. By the way, with Patra and Providence, you start a top line of Merck, Patra, Liesel. Hey, buddy, if you're a Providence fan, just say that, you know? That is a pretty great line for an AHL squad. I just got a service call at a gas station in Athol. I live in fucking Plymouth. Dude, Gold Tiger, I am from Phillipston, Massachusetts. That's a town over from Athol. P-Town, baby. Represent. You know? No one knows Phillipston? That's okay. You shouldn't. Dampen, get that shit out of here. Geeky is not an S tier. You're banned. Oh, one of the dogs is upset. Hold on. They're knocking on my door. Hi, Velma. Hi. This is Velma. I think you guys know Velma. She's very upset. I locked myself in the room, and if she doesn't have access to me, she gets upset. She's beautiful. She's the perfect girl. All right, you gotta go back. You gotta go back. Go on. Go on. She's my perfect daughter, and I love her so much. Feels like Patra may be a little like Suzuki, honestly. In what way, exactly? Like in a good way or in a bad way? Oh, we do have to do Brazil. We do. Glad Marchand was a captain and not Coyle. Yeah, I don't know if Coyle was ever really threatening captaincy. Never heard of Phillipston? That's okay. Lived in Gardner for 3 years. In Winchington. Yep, you were right around the area. Phillipston is not a real place. Actually, you might have a point there, honestly. Dude's 42, you're right. She is a good girl. Ugh, excellent. Pasta's an S tier. He's the only reason the Bees had any offense this season. His postseason was not great in terms of points, but he really stepped up in leadership role when Marchand went down. I will agree with all of that and even take it a step further. The reason that Pasta wasn't great in the playoffs, I think I will bump him above Ullmark, is because he was the only real threat. It was him. That's all we had. That's not literally all we had, but they got to double team him the whole time, all the time. He went like 40 games without a playoff goal, a power play goal. I mean, there were some rough stretches because teams just went, okay, Marchand's not shooting, McAvoy's not shooting. Most of that team doesn't have a lot of finishing talent. We take Pasta out of the equation, we're good to go, and he's still at 110 points. Like that's, you feel pretty good about that, I would say. You ever hear of Rehoboth Ghost? I have not, Cameron. I have no idea what that is. Oh, that's right, Bughoff. Dude, I have a terrible memory. I'm doing my best here. Feels like every time you mention Geeky, your dogs become upset. Yeah, I wonder why that is. What are the odds we see Merck, Patra, and Lisa line established in the NHL in 3 years' time? Extremely low. One of the three isn't going to make it. And I think it might be Merkulov, unfortunately, but we'll see. Pasta gets an S for that Maple Leafs goal alone in Game 7. Does that mean we have to chuck Lindholm up because of that pass? What kind of dog? She's a German Shepherd Hound mix. And then I have another Hound mix, and then I have a Golden mix. I want Patra to be an Adam Oates player. I would die, and I'd love every second of it. Okay, Brazzers. Let's do Brazzers real quick. Where are you? Bottom of A tier. Because the expectations for him were, nothing? This dude, I hate when this happens, because it's embarrassing for me who talks about the team so much and watches so much of it. He wasn't even on my radar. Dude didn't exist in my mind. He was excellent. Excellent. I have no issues with what he brought. If I was a Boulder man, I would put him in S tier just because he completely flabbergasted me with how good he was basically right away. Pasta throwing punches, that was fun, except for he got his, teeth kicked in. But how much do you think Patra will weigh in it next year? I hope 190. How much was he this year? Like 176 or something? I would love a good 185. Yeah, Pasta couldn't do much and still did his best to drive plays and shoot as he could during the playoffs. I agree. I totally agree. Would Liam O'Brien be possible to get instead of signing Maroon? I mean, it's a younger Maroon. I don't think Liam O'Brien is as good as people make him out to be. Is Phillipston a low quality town? Dude, you have no idea, honestly. That is I wouldn't visit. Unless you're going to the Red Apple Farm, then that's worth a visit. We love Heinen and Geeky, but watching Pastrnak play on an island was sad. He put up 1-6 with third liners. Yeah. I mean, he really did do everything he could. Warren, Massachusetts resident. Nice. Meant it in a good way for the Patra Suzuki stuff. Responsible on both ends. Hopefully really improves at the dot. Yeah, it needs some improvement on the dot for sure. His vision is excellent. His keep away game is excellent. He just has to learn how to not be caught. And he's going to have to bulk up because he has to be able to maintain having the puck at his size, which is going to be a huge leap for him. Yeah, everyone seems to agree that... Yeah, everyone seems to agree that Brazzers should be in the A tier. Fall River, okay. Really want Jared McCann or Marcia so. We're going to do a whole breakdown for free agency. I'm going to have to actually start getting a little more on my horse for a little more research there. Because you try to cover the whole league throughout the season, and you try to make sure that you're on... This is actually a perfect example. Steve Dangle mentioned before the series against the Leafs that he didn't know who John Beecher was. And he got crushed by a lot of people for that. Because Beecher was a first-round pick, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I never knew before starting this channel how difficult it was to keep up with this stuff to a level that fan bases of other teams will appreciate you. Because you start talking about another team and you think something about a player and you don't watch that guy every single day like these other people do, they're going to come at you so freaking hard if they disagree with you. And a lot of times they'll back it up with stuff where you're like, I didn't even know that. There's a lot of players in this league. And there's a lot of teams that you don't realize you don't watch as much as you think you do. There was a point I was making with all of that. So like the free agency stuff, diving deeper into it. Because I could tell you right now, Marchessault seems like a great ad. But if I dove into it a little more, I might find some reasons to be like, oh, I don't know if I love that. You know? Puckoff has some trades here. Let's all put him on a pedestal. Let's figure this out. Patra, Lysell, Swayman, a 2025 first, and Brett Harrison for Draisaitl with an extension and a third rounder. Would you do it? God, you are... That is a ton, but it's right. Like, you're not wrong. What's up, Tony? You're not wrong in this. Shit, I think I might. God, if I could take out Patra, I'd do it in like a heartbeat. Because I don't want our train of centers to get weaker through this. But to trade one of our goaltenders, a first-round pick, Brett Harrison, who fine, and then Liesel, who we're not really sure about. Yeah, you know, like, I would do that in a heartbeat. The Patra part of it makes it just a little trickier. Gosh, that's a hard one. But yeah, actually at the end of the day, I think I would do it. Just joined, but what's the reasoning on JVR? I know he had a slow end of the season, but still 20 goals and top 10 of the team in scoring. I'd say bottom of B personally. Totally get it. I think he was a legitimate reason that line failed to get going multiple times during the season, particularly in the playoffs. I imagine Liesel makes it next year. I hope he lights it up. It's going to be a slow burn for him. I don't think he's going to come in on fire, but I think he still has a lot of potential. Curious about the rumblings of a PLD buyout in LA and the attempted Ullmark trade. So if Pierre-Luc Dubois gets bought out and is willing to take like a prove-it deal, I'd do that in a heartbeat. He's a supposed cancer in the locker room, but if he wants $3 million for 2 years, then I'm signing him and seeing if he can fix a problem for us at the position he plays. That being said, I hate the idea of an Ullmark trade for him. I hate it. I hate it. I think Lindholm should be high D tier. I get that. I'm pretty happy with him in the C tier. I just don't think he exceeded any sort of expectations. Laurie will be better than McAvoy in 1 year. I hope you're right. I don't think you'll be, but... Gold Tiger with the generosity. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. First round pick, a second round pick, plus a prospect for Trevor Zegras. Heard the Ducks office wants to move off him before next year if the offer makes sense. Yeah, I'd do that. I would do that. I would do a first, second, and Liesel for him. Yeah, I wouldn't really blink at that too much. We have Pasternak now, so I genuinely am like, you know what, fine. I see a lot of no's, but Zegras' upside is there. There would obviously be some pause with this kind of thing. It just seems like a worthwhile risk, though. I don't know. Man, everyone's really saying no to this. Maybe I'm in the... Oh, I don't know if they're saying no to you or the other deal with the big one with all the pieces for Draisaitl. Yeah, a lot of them changed Swayman to Ullmark in that deal. Totally get that. Totally get that. I just bought a Swayman jersey, bro. No chance. I would take Burt back over DeBrusk. No, you are downgrading there. You are 100% downgrading. I know the offensive upside there is there with Burt. Defensively, DeBrusk is worlds better. Worlds better than Burt. Micro Sausage. Excellent name, as usual. I think I say that every time I talk to you. That trade is booty cheeks. Thank you for the generosity. I think you guys are underestimating how much Draisaitl would go for. I do. I really do. What do you think for Steven Stamkos for a couple of years? He's a Bolt for life. I just can't see it happening. I know they don't have any money, but I think they're making it work. I don't think Edmonton makes that trade. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm with you, Robert. I don't think Edmonton makes that trade. Draisaitl for all of that stuff. I think they're still going, nope, you're a few talent levels short. Are you grading the staff too? I think we're going to do, probably not during this stream, but we're going to do some of that over the next week. Zaka point predictions for next year. God, if he gets to the wing, he might have another chance at 60. I'll go with 54. Go with 54 points. There's no part of me that wants PLD in a Bees jersey. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, the buyout for him would be unbelievable. It would be horrible for that franchise. Bertuzzi and JD ideally on the same line. On the same line. Because you have an excellent defensive winger and a really poor defensive winger and an excellent puck-moving finisher and a streaky finisher. Whoever's centering that just has to keep up. Trade for Crosby. No, but thank you. If you want a top 5 player in the league, price starts with Swayman and Patra. Yeah, I would agree with that. If we get rid of Hall and DeBrusk in back-to-back seasons, I might no longer be a fan of this team anymore. Harsh, but like I get it. Like I get it. The thing is, if you lose DeBrusk, you've really put yourself in a weird spot because you just have so little talent up front, and you can have a poor opinion of DeBrusk, but he makes the top 6 better currently. Geeky being tied for second with Pasta and playoff goals lands him in S tier. Fight me. Yeah, I'll fight you. Hold on. Boof. No, I'm kidding. That's just rude. Geeky gets a... Not a C. Because he was asked to play above his station for large portions of this year and couldn't hack it. And that's not his fault, and I can't hold that against him. What's next for Grizz? I don't know, and quite frankly, at this point, I do not care. I loved Grizz on this team. I did not like him this year. I think he's finished as spoke to be. But he'll get signed by someone. Drysdale is a McDavid merchant. Peter, I know you know that's not true. I know you know that's not true. I don't know you, but I know you know that's not true. I'm going to give Geeky the bottom of the A tier because he was asked to do so much more than he was capable, and he fought and grinded and pushed his way to do everything he could. I don't like Geeky in the top 6. Him being there was not his fault, and he did the best he could with it. I think he did. Maybe this is just me like throwing the guy a bone, but the very bottom of A tier. DeBrusk does more than people realize. I think he does. I really do. President's Trophy prediction for next year. Whoever loses in the finals. Actually genuinely excited for the preseason. This is the thing, Lime. This is the thing. Is that the way this season ended and how everyone was like obviously bummed but also went, yeah. This was probably the inevitable end. It just got you excited for what next year could be. Like, this is what teams without pressure feel all the time. I was talking to my Canes buddy the other day. Obviously, the Canes just got outs by the Rangers a few days ago, a week ago, whatever that is now. And it sucks. It sucks for him. Because the Canes were supposed to be great again this year, and they were great again this year. And years ago, I remember telling him, dude, you have expectations now. Your team's good now. The fun part, that's all gone. This isn't fun anymore unless you win. It's just not, because you're going to expect to win every night, every playoff series, you're going to expect to win. And when it doesn't happen, it's going to be devastating. And that's been his life the last couple of years. And mine, for what it's worth. Cameron Peters with generosity. Wow, you guys have been super generous for this stream. Thank you so much. My goodness. Geeky B tier, Geeky low A. He exceeded expectations. Yeah, that makes sense. Pasta Marchand Coil for... Cameron Peters, you... I won't get mad at you if you immediately dispute this charge on your card. Pasta Marchand Coil for Bedard, a 2025 first, a 2026 first, and a bag of pucks. What are you doing? You're trying to pull the Celtics Pierce trade back in the day, right? You're trying to pull the Celtics Nets trade where we sent all these aging vets out and got all these assets back and just revamp the team. Oh boy. Geeky was this year's Craig Smith, and that is a correct statement. I actually liked Craig Smith more than this, I think. Dryden would also probably fix his power play for a long time. Hell yeah, he would. God, that would be so good. Olmark and a 5th to Ottawa for a top 10 protected pick and one of the Sens goalies. They both ass. And Ridley Greig. Ooh. I don't think Ottawa does that. A top 10 protected first rounder. They do move off one of their goalies, but they really like Greig. What are these guys making? I mean, it would have to be Korpisalo. because of the cap. So like that would technically be us taking on more bad assets, right? What did Grieg end up with this year? 21 years old too. 26 and 72. Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that they would do that. Surprised to see the Geeky's only 25. Yeah, I know. Isn't it nuts? Didn't DeBrusk ask for a trade at the start of the season? Wasn't that the middle of last year? Was it the start of this year? I got my time frames moved up. But he did ask for a trade, yeah. No. That was while Cassidy was still coach. This was a couple years ago. Only for Elias Lindholm. I mean, Elias right now, I believe, is hitting free agency. Unless the signing gets done very soon. I swear the Canes should have won multiple cups within the last handful of seasons. Who do you blame? Is it Brindamore? Might be Brindamore. It's a good thing we got rid of Corrali right before his fall off. But didn't you love Corrali? Didn't you just love the guy in a Bruins sweater? How's the low-quality bracket league going? Anyone nail the Final Four? I didn't. There is somebody who has a perfect bracket still going. Not the correct amount of games in the first round, but there is somebody with still a perfect bracket. Okay, let's judge someone really quick, because Mark McLaughlin, he's got to go right there with Steen. That's an easy one. Magna, I mean, he can be, but he didn't really break the lineup. Lauko, I'm going to give a B because I think he was unfairly misused for large portions of this season and wasn't given enough rope, which is funny because if you go back and listen to me, I was so sick of Lauko's shit during portions of this season because I felt like he was just skating and laying the body and being crazy but not actually having an effect on the game. But I thought particularly in the playoffs that he had opened up more and was playing a more responsible game, and then they weren't utilizing him very well, or utilizing him at all, for that matter. Zacha, Liesel, and a second-round pick for Shane Pinto or Tim Stützle and Matthew Joseph. Okay, so here's the problem. Stützle will not be involved in that at all. He has a 100-point season under his belt. That's just not going to happen. The Pinto and Joseph stuff, there's something there. They'd have to really like Zacha to make a deal like that. But there's something there. That's the beginnings of a conversation. Like, I would do that. I would do a Pinto Joseph for Zacha Liesel in a second round, I think. I think I might, actually. Yeah. Only for Nachos. There's a lot going into that, but I'd do it. I would. Cameron Peters with more generosity. His 10th. This is your 10th donation on this, man? Not on this stream alone, but damn, dude. Thank you. Then Sweeney can pick the worst players in the draft in the first round. Seems accurate to me. All right, come on. Little positivity wouldn't kill you, man. But I don't have a lot of first round evidence to go off of where I get to prove you wrong. So we're just going to keep moving. Thank you for your generosity. I think all my picks died except Edmonton. Bugman, are you talking about the bracket? Because, yeah, I did okay in the first round and then not so great in the second round. I put a Bruins-Panthers rematch and had the Bruins winning it. And it turns... I didn't really believe it, but, like, you know, you do that. You gotta make the bracket the way you want to make it. Thoughts on Keefe to New Jersey? So... I don't think Keefe's a good coach. I seem to be in the minority, especially in the analytics crowd. I don't think he's a good coach. Genuinely. I don't think he gets through to the players. I don't think he creates a great system for them. I don't think he's a good coach. His comments about joining a young core and leading them and how exciting that is was just big old middle fingers to Toronto, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I would have gladly pretended Corrali was good for years after his fall off if he stuck around. A lot of people are doing that with Grizzlick right now, so I get that. Lauko playoff built rally car. Yeah. Lauko should have stayed in versus Florida. I agree. Olmark and Lindholm for Shabbat and Batherson. Who says no? Ottawa, I think. Ottawa says no to that. They really love Batherson, man. There's too many of these trades that involve, like, goaltending's really difficult to decide what the trade market's going to be for, and then a not superstar, but a non-star player, and then on the other end is a guy who, like, that team really cherishes. So it's just kind of hard to judge that one. AJ, thank you so much for saying howdy and go bees. I am glad that we don't have a mic in front of you right now, because you would probably deafen us all, and that is a compliment. I know this may sound crazy, but imagine trading for Brady Tkachuk and see Brady versus Matthew. Yeah, I would. Yep, I would trade for Brady Tkachuk. 100% would do that. Let's do another player real quick. He can be the bottom half of C. Like, there's nothing that he really got to do. Boquist, I thought, I'm going to put in the top half of C, because although he had some really nice moments, he had some really, really bad ones too. So he was more or less what I expected from a 13th forward that found his way into the game a little bit. I'll be honest, I'm genuinely just trying to get rid of Zacha. I kind of get it. I think Zacha's, if he can be utilized correctly, is a very useful middle six guy. But I do understand the frustration with him this year, because he just felt like his head wasn't in it half the time. I watched that Amazon All for Nothing that focused on the Leafs. Keith was not impressive with that. That was one of the biggest things before the season, where I was like, this is your guy? This looks awful. This is awkward. The team isn't listening to him. Like, actively during portions of that documentary, they just straight out were ignoring the guy. Bizarre that they put that out. Personally, I would love to sign Zadorov to a $5 or so million and trade Lindholm. He's taller, heavier, scrappier, gives more offense, and can obviously show up in the playoffs. I think Lindholm's getting an unfair heaping after this season. I think he is. But I think some of it is deserved. So go off, I guess. But Lindholm's here to stay, to disappoint everybody. Like, that's not a very tradable contract right now. Pasta, Olmark for Brady Tkachuk and Shabbat. Bruins say no so fast. Holy shit. They say no so fast. Into the Den, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Love the Beecher 1C shout out in short shift. Well, that's your bit, man. That's all. That's all you. That's your bit. Reese Wotherspoon to B tier. Oh, Wotherspoon. Is it crazy to say A, like back half of A tier? Again, you're talking about third pairing dude, but came out of nowhere. And played a really responsible, great. What do you guys think? Where does Wotherspoon land? And while you decide that in the chat, I'm going to look through some more trades, because this is fun. Did we already put Beecher in 1C here? Beecher I'm almost saving for last at this point. Where did Frank Vetrano come from for the Ducks? Who saw that coming? Career year, man. Career year in a contract year. Do not touch him. Don't do it. He's going to rip, but you don't deal Hampus. Look at his D-zone starts this year. Yeah, puck off. I'm right there with you. He had an incredibly difficult assignment all year. Zacha is a left wing, not a center. Couldn't agree more. AJ with the generosity. $1 for each voicemail from last short shift. All right, we got to get more of your... Did you hear the rules, AJ? I'm pretty sure I laid some rules out for you. How I describe Zacha is how I feel on DeBrusk. I get that. I do think that DeBrusk just does so much more than he's known for. What the hell happened to Lindholm anyway? He was unbelievably bad all of a sudden. I think he was utilized differently. And look, he wasn't as good as he was last year. I'll give you that. Or 2 years ago, I'll give you that. But he was utilized much, much differently. Spoon A tier. C or B tier. A. No, I put him up there too. Parker Wotherspoon, a.k.a. Dylan Strome, according to Daily Faceoff. Low A, solid B, high B, B, A, Without him, your 7th D was Zaboral. That's true. Oh boy, it's dry in here. Well, this was B tier. I'm seeing a lot of Bs here too. Not a trade proposal, but fun fact: Lauko was drafted before Charlie Coyle became a Bruin. Is that true? God, time is weird. Time is dumb. I'm seeing a lot of B tier for Wotherspoon, but I'm putting him at the top of it. I just think he was really, really good. Draisaitl wants to come to the Bruins. Echo, explain yourself. Explain yourself. Ole DeBrusque for Dakota Joshua and a 2025 second rounder. Is Dakota Joshua one name? Because I don't remember that one. Or is Dakota a different player? Am I being dumb right now? This is what I mean. Covering other teams is hard. I had fun with it in my one voicemail for this week. I had fun with it. Oh, God. Oh, no. I'm a little worried now. Lindholm was injured in January. Yeah, but he didn't have a great beginning of the season either. Why was he utilized differently, though? I mean, the coaches had to have known they were hurting the team. They were trying to make sure that one aspect of the game was elite, which was defense. I think that's genuinely what they did, is they went, we know the offense isn't going to be great. We have to be unbelievably good defensively. And that's, I thought, why early in the season you did see a lot of weird defensive mishaps because the team was adjusting to a newer style on that end. Not in front of Lori, though. You're right. You're right. How silly of me. All right. Merkulov couldn't break the lineup, but also the expectation wasn't for him to break the lineup. So I'm going to put him in the C tier right in the middle. Next year will be a much more... Dakota Joshua. Oh, and he's a UFA. A Boleskian contract. Screw that. I don't want him. Dakota Joshua is... Okay. See, this is what I mean. I just forget some things. Have a great night, AJ! He is friends with Pasta, and the rumor is his contract is coming up. So, I mean, yeah, he's got one more year. Shoot, I don't see a world where Draisaitl hits free agency. I don't see it. I think the best chance for that is if he wins a cup this year, oddly enough. Like, he gets that done, you know? Shat and Kirk. A tier for Shat. Do you think Bruins will target Reinhart or Montour? Reinhart, absolutely. They'll look into. I have a feeling if they do sign him, it's going to be a pretty decent overpayment. But, I mean, career years and contract years are really tough to judge. Shatty, I really love the lower B tier for him. Because... he had some highs and lows, but he did exceed my expectations to the point where there are some games I actually was like, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with him on the ice. There were just some real severe lows during the regular season. So I'm pretty comfortable with him there. Love how I recorded a 55-minute wrap-up video with people on call in the Short Shift Discord. And then I got everything except my voice. Oh no! That's so brutal. What do you think of Zadorov as a Bruin? I'd be fine with it. I'm not, like, losing my mind over it. Yeah. Shattenkirk a lower B feels right. Shatty had some real struggles when he first got here, but that was to be expected. Future considerations for McDavid. I'd pull the trigger on that, absolutely. His speech before Game 7 makes him be a tier alone. That's fine. Zaka is... God, he was... For the regular season, he outperformed what we expected. He genuinely did. And then it fell off so hard. So hard. I'm going to give him low B. I'm going to give him low B. Low B. Low B feels right. Low B feels right. My dad is proposing Ole for Draisaitl straight up. Your dad is really, really, really overvaluing Ullmark by a lot. C, B, or top of C, high C, low B. Okay, we see we're mostly in agreement. Yeah, like we're asking him to fill in for something that he wasn't capable of doing. I'm comfortable with this. And then Beecher. Johnny Beecher. I kind of want to go high C for John Beecher because he's exactly what I thought he was, and he did not get away from that at all during the season. But he's like a fan favorite, so I don't know how you guys are going to feel about that. The Red Sox will be good this year. What's up, man? How are you? Good luck with that. Beecher 1C. Yeah, I got that. I think Reinhardt's going to have to leave Florida. I don't know what their cap situation is like, but it's not superb. Turns out missing a Hall of Fame center is bad. Jake, it's a bold take, but I think I agree with you. I think I'm right there with you. I'm going to put him right at the top of C. Right at the top of C. He is exactly what I thought he was. Come on. Boquist is not going to give up a spot. There we go. He's exactly what I thought he was. He is a black hole offensively. He's excellent defensively. Good in the dot. He's a good fourth liner. Good fourth liner. Darren, buddy, I'm sorry that the day sucked. If it makes you feel any better, same. Technically 1C. Into the den. Fuck you. That was really funny. Oh my god. Yeah, you got me. He's 1C. God. You suck. You suck so much. What's a Reinhardt contract going to look like? He's looking for 8 digits, man. He's looking for 8. I can tell you right now. Not 8 million, 8 digits. He's looking for 10 million bucks. I would love Draisaitl on this team. I would love Draisaitl on this team. I feel pretty good about these rankings. It actually goes, it's kind of perfect, especially when you look at the S tier. Who deserves to be up there? The one guy who could single-handedly will this team to score at times, and then the 2 goaltenders. 100%. I feel like Beecher needs better wingers before we know if he's able to produce offensively, to be honest. So, I get where you're coming from, but he was the reason plays would die in the offensive zone. Like, he himself was the reason. So I have a hard time being like, move him up in the lineup, you never know. A couple more years, he's 22 now. Give him a couple years, 24, 25. We'll see if he can move up the lineup, but no, he's been the same thing for like 6 years at every level. Seriously, like, go look into, he's been the same player forever. I'll be surprised if Reinhardt gets less than 9 million. I will. Right back at you. Geeky is 1C. Nope. 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 How many open nets did Beecher miss? More than he had goals, right? I mean, that's very possible. Darren, if you shit yourself, just say that, man. It's all right. You don't know. I could have shit myself right now. You don't know. You don't know. He's so bad at offense. What's so funny, though, is like he's the guy, like game 1 of the playoffs, he's the guy that just scores that random big goal, and you're like, holy crap, Beecher, yeah! And then he disappears for a couple weeks. Zaka hit more pipe than net. Why do you think his nickname is King of Ping? That's what he does. Matthew, okay, so this is actually something I heard a lot. You're a Michigan fan. You think that Beecher's game translates better to the NHL than college, and you think he improves a lot next year, personally. I love that idea. I hope you're right. I do think he gets better next year, right? Just natural progression of it. But he, all through his Michigan career, was defensively really solid, not great offensively, slowly up pushed farther down the lineup because they're like, he's our shutdown guy. Great. It's what he is. It's who he is. He's a shutdown guy. There's nothing wrong with that. That guy pays the bills on an NHL team and is necessary for a good NHL team. But that's what he is, in my opinion. See you later, Darren. Can't find Mac. Mac is, where do we put him? C tier? No, B tier. Yeah, B tier. Boston Bruins had a hard time with the empty net. My God, 6-on-5 was a disaster. Now rate Monty. Oh, Monty's a tough one because I said this actually on the Short Shift podcast this past week. I actually think he deserves a lot more credit because I felt that he really did less so bring this team up and design a system to drag other teams to our level. Because forward talent isn't what we had. But he made sure that we were playing on equal footing against these other teams. So I honestly, I would put Monty in a high B category, maybe a low A. I actually thought he deserves more credit than we're giving him. And I've been very critical of Monty the past couple of years, but I think he deserves more credit. I feel like the Bruins have never been good at a 5v6. I can't remember the last time we were. Geeky A. Yeah, the very bottom tier of A, but we really did ask him to do more than he could, and he stepped up, even though he didn't always look good doing it. Do you think Patra should be a 1 seed? Do you mean like a 1C? Because, no, I don't think he's a top-line material. Certainly not right now. Patra might be someday, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. That's true. That Michigan team was so stacked. For him to be higher in the lineup was going to be a tough road for him regardless. So you're not wrong about that at all. Beecher is to offense what Derek Jeter was to defense. Awful 90% of the time, but would come in the clutch so much. If that's his whole career, then excellent. I have no issues there. Dampen about Monty. I think he did really good with what he had available. Yeah, I don't think I think it's hard to argue against that, honestly. I think a lot of people, because the team ended with 109 points or whatever, they really thought they just started assuming that this team was great, and I think it was a strong chemistry kind of grit out the wins kind of team. I just don't think they were great talent wise. Monty also stuck with Swayman in playoffs despite them wanting to do a rotation all year. Yeah, I mean, dude got hot. And he said that was a plan the whole time, is each of them gets a start, and whoever has the hot glove gets to keep going. And boy, Swayman never gave Ullmark a chance. Did Monty save his job in Game 7 versus Toronto? Maybe, but I don't... Firing a coach after 2 years that you made the playoffs is hard for me to do. I just feel like that's a little unfair, like especially after the years that he had. But 2 3-1 collapses would be, it's a tough sell to have that guy still running the team after that. So he might have saved his job with that one. And it does. You see how much the narrative changes, because just a week and a half later, everyone's like, yeah, I mean, Monty's fine, you know. 2C is much more possible, Archie, for Patra, in my opinion. Now rate the Toronto Situation Room. The U. I'm going to give them a U. Not quite a Z, but a U. Too many men has to stop. I don't know how to fix that, man. I don't know. I don't even know who to blame at this point. The Bruins just love to have too many men. They are the Pamela Anderson of hockey teams, I guess. I don't know. Does that still scan? Is she too old to use for that? It was a good year. It was a good year. Patra isn't 1C material because that's what Beecher. On that note, I'm ending the stream. I am going to end the stream, though. I actually want to start watching some of this other game, but I have to see the lovely, high-quality fiance and spend a little time with her tonight as well. I will answer this question, though. Which Bruin surprised you most this year as far as performance, good or bad? So, bad would be Grizz. Good, I would say... I think the one who surprised me the most with how good they looked would be Patra, which is funny because he didn't play 70% of the year. Make the Bruins grind line change drills all this training camp. Here's the thing. The reason that doesn't work is because we change our lines so gosh darn always. Monty changes the lines every game. No one's going to know who goes when. Adrian, thanks for jumping in. Preds Hockey Hunter, goodbye. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We're going to do this every Thursday going forward. We're going to talk about something. We'll jump in. Maybe some nights we'll play video games or something like that. We'll just have some fun. Scarlett, thank you so much for jumping in. Into the den. Great to see you, man. You cheeky bastard. And yes, we are going to try to do a Boston hangout. I think I'm going to fly up. I'll have to stop through Rhode Island first for some family stuff. But I do think this offseason I'm going to go up there and just probably go over to Banners or something like that and have a couple drinks and just see some people. I'm rooting for Dallas. I'm rooting for Dallas all day. Juan, thank you so much for hanging out. Dampen, yep, we're going to get back to the games a little bit. See you later, Echo. Oh, is there of course there's a Sox game on. That makes sense too, but I think I'm going to focus on Celtics and hockey tonight. Lemon, what's going on? You got me right when I'm about to get off, but, well, not get off, but you know what I mean. I appreciate you jumping in to say hi. Danish meetup, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. Next year is gonna be really interesting. It could be devastating, who knows, but it's gonna be fun. Jeff, if that coincides with when I'm up there, I'll absolutely let you know. Jasmine, thank you for jumping in. Thank you for your opinions. You had some fun ones in there. There was a time where I never would have thought Sagan would get another cup before Marchand, but yeah. I just don't have a lot of hate for Sagan anymore. I used to for a while, but that's died out. Puck off, we absolutely will. Andrew does suck. I will absolutely say that. Yep. Olmark for Lehkonen. I want more than Lehkonen for Olmark, but I do want Lehkonen, so, you know. Charlie, thanks for coming by. Bristol on the 4th. I'll remember that. Will I remember that? I will do my best to remember that. I don't want to make any false promises here. David, thank you so much for jumping in. I hope you don't work too late because work is miserable. Work is not fun. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I appreciate all of you so much, and we're gonna do this every Thursday. So I appreciate you hanging out, and we had a bunch of viewers, and thank you for everyone who gave donations. You guys blow me away by how much you like to hang out, and I really appreciate that. I really do. Oh, and as usual, it is a bad time to join. I apologize for that. But as usual, go Bees! Even though it's the off season. Good night, guys. Have a good one.